I really like this course because it's very different from the other sort of literary courses that I've taken. We get to read the original stories, the novel or the short story, and then we look also at the film adaptation. And in a lot of other courses, we sort of criticize the film adaptation, like it doesn't reflect the book at all, but I think it's really cool to be able to see, for example, we just read Toni Takitani by Haruki Murakami. To be able to see that this short story is only 7 pages long, become a full movie that's like an hour and a half long, it's just amazing that even the contrast between what the director of the film highlights versus what the author highlights, it's amazing to see everything sort of come together.
Okay, my final project decision. Well, I'm gonna do a screenplay combining essentially Rashomon and, the Inner Grove and Tokyo Story. So I'm gonna apply the Rashomon effect to that. But I thought it would be like interesting to apply the Rashomon effect to that, like where so like in an alternate universe where like each of the family members like discuss the details surrounding the grandma's like sudden death, and in a sense also try to just to dissect the case and unravel like what exactly went on, because like the death again in the movie was really sudden.
I think the most difficult was Woman in the Dunes. Yeah, I mean, both the book and the film were extremely avant-garde, which is great, and I'm happy that we watched that and read that, but it was definitely challenging. But it's also interesting to like compare it to other films that I've watched that are not from Japan, and it does have some resemblance to like other new wave films from I would say France, but not necessarily, honestly.
I guess what's changed about my impression of Japanese film is actually having concrete examples of the aesthetic that kind of comes to mind when I think of Japanese film. So I might think of like kind of like serene, calm scenes, and that now I have an idea in my head of Snow Country. And now if I think of like the Ozu style, if somebody says that in conversation, I actually know what that means and have a very distinct idea of Tokyo Story. The first film that we watched as a class, and I thought that kind of struck me really strongly because the style is so different from a lot of the films that we watch nowadays or any of the older films I've watched in the past, and it's just really good.